Hey, what's up, guys? Dr. Feelgood here, back again with another video prescription. And today I want to talk about my Splatoon 2 desires. The things I will want or would like to see in Splatoon 2 coming out this summer for the Nintendo Switch. Now, those that know me know that I'm a huge fan of Splatoon. I have well over 700 hours invested in the game. I played it religiously. I'm still a big fan of it, still play it to this day. But the game was not without its faults, even amongst the biggest Splatoon fans. There are things about the first Splatoon that many of the fans had issues with. All right? And I would like to see most, if not all of these, resolved in its sequel. So, let's get started. One of the first things I would like to see happen in Splatoon 2 is to have a 3 to 4 map rotation instead of the now or current 2 map rotation. Currently for Splatoon, for those that don't know, it rotates 2 specific maps every 4 hours. Now, that's not terrible, and I think I understand why they do it. But I'm among those, and I'm pretty sure most, if not all of you can agree, you would like to see more maps in a rotation. I would like to see at least 3, similar to what Splatfest did, if not up to 4. Now, keep in mind, I'm still okay with them locking down the maps to where it's only 3 or 4 that are playable for every session. I'm okay with that. I really am. Whether it be a 2-hour rotation, 4-hour, 6-hour, I don't care. But I do believe that they kept the same 4-hour rotation. I would like for it to be at least 3 to 4 maps. To me, that's reasonable. I know some of you are thinking like, well, that's stupid anyway. You know, why have a limited map rotation? Why not just have all the maps available? Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure when you keep all maps and modes on a server, it's more stressful. And if you are a Call of Duty fan like I am, where that game had tons of modes and even more maps, there was some modes that were played far more than others. There was some modes that only had like maybe a couple of thousand on the server, or in that mode rather, as opposed to the traditional team deathmatch that would have, 500,000. What's the point of even having that mode there? And then there are certain maps that a community generally doesn't like as a whole. Of course, you may have a few stragglers that like the, said hated map, but there are certain maps that the community just does not like, and they will always vote against it. And on the opposite side of that, there are certain maps that the community just adores. Like, for example, when the first Black Ops came out, the one map that would get voted on until they developed a patch, but the one map that got voted on consistently about 10 times in a row was Nuketown, which is why they brought Nuketown back as DLC for Black Ops 2. But yeah, Nuketown, when that map hit the lobby as a choice, it got voted for every time by most, if not the entire room. The smallest map, and it was a fun map, but they voted for that map every time. There are times you played that map like 6 or 7 times consecutively. And although I love the map, it's like, damn, I need some variety here. I do. So then they came out with a patch that if you play the map twice in a row, on the third time, that map, you could not even choose that map or vote for it in the lobby. It was grayed out. You had to choose that map by default unless you left the lobby. But yeah, so I can see that being one reason why they did it, because there'll be certain maps that, hey, people will vote for all the time or just did not want to play. All right? The second thing I would like to see in Splatoon 2 is a ranked turf war. Those that know me as Lord Dynamo. And I love Turf War, mainly because besides the fact that it is the mode which the game was promoted around, but Turf War is actually, in my opinion, and I think it's factually as well, it's a more difficult mode to play out of all the modes they have in the game. Now, some of you may be thinking, man, Turf War is for pussies, it's too easy to play, that's why I stopped playing it. Yeah, but rank mode is easier because you only have one objective. And currently, that objective is, if you're playing tower control, maintain control of the tower right at the furthest on your side or whatever. If it's splat zones, control the splat zones the longest. Things like that. But see, you don't have to paint any turf around. You don't have to maintain the turf. You're only maintaining one thing. It's easier to focus on one thing instead of multiple. With Turf War, you have to not only defend your turf, but maintain the turf you have painted, your color, while trying your best to stay alive. See, you're doing multiple things at once. You don't just have one objective. It's that simple. But that's my opinion. Anyway, moving on. One thing I hated about Splatoon is that it did not have a ranked turf war. It had the ranked modes, like the tower control, the splat zones, and there's another one. I can't think of what it is right now. I'm sorry, guys. I know I may seem like I'm not a fan, but I did not play rank more much. I'm rank A plus, just so you know, but I didn't care for it too much. But they had rank for those modes, but they didn't have it for turf war, and I thought that was kind of stupid. Not asking you to take away the regular turf war. I'm just asking that if you're going to have specific rank modes, why not have a rank version of the one mode that you use to promote and sell the game? They're not bragging about rank mode in the commercials. Just saying. But yeah, ranked turf war, I love to play that. The next thing I would want is a squad mode with friends versus randoms. Currently, in Splatoon, if you do squad mode, you can only go against other squads. Now, I can see the fairness in that because, hey, if you and your friends communicate well and you're in sync, you can be an unstoppable force. But at the same time, the problem with that is you sometimes go against a squad of 2, 3, or 4, depending on your squad. Even if you had a squad of 4, you would sometimes go against squads of 4 as well. But to me, it's just that if you had a squad of 3, you could end up going against a squad of 4. The same thing with 2. You could go against a squad of 3 or 4. That didn't make sense to me. But what if I don't care to go against other squads? Even for ranked matches, what if I want to just team up with my friends, squad mode, and go against randoms? What's wrong with that? I want to play against randoms. I'll be honest. I want to wreck the randoms. But I think they need to have a regular squad mode. Or I need to have a squad mode for versus randoms, not just other squads. The next thing is that they need a squad mode for unranked turf war. And just the unranked modes, period. What's wrong with squadding up and going against other squads or random people without your rank being on the line? Some folks really do just want to play for fun. I know people that love tower control. But guess what? There's only one way to play it, and it's two ways. You can play ranked with your online, if you get a squad together, whatever, or you can play with friends. But what if I want to play that mode without my rank being on the line, and I don't have friends? I just like to play that mode. Let's just say that's the case. I don't see anything wrong with offering a way to play squad mode or to even play the rank modes without being ranked. Think of it as a for fun or for glory out of Smash Brothers, but for Splatoon. Hey, maybe I want to play Splat Zones without my rank being on the line. Maybe I want to play Tower Control with my friends without my rank being on the line. Just for fun. Nothing's wrong with that. I think it should be an option. And I'm pretty sure some of you can agree. Next up, and this is a fairly simple one, I want the ability to leave the goddamn lobby. Now, I do think I know why Nintendo did this, where you cannot leave the lobby. I played Call of Duty since Call of Duty 2 or 3, all right? Especially the online multiplayer, primarily. I have thousands of hours logged in Call of Duty game. I have over 1,000 hours logged in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. But what happens is this, and this is for multiplayer. When you get a map selection that comes up, it shows 2 maps or whatever, or the next map you're playing on. What people would do is, if they don't like that map, they'll leave the lobby. But what happens is the team either becomes unbalanced or resets the lobby clock because someone left. I've seen matches to where we were waiting 45 seconds. Of course, that's a normal, lobby time. And then people are casting their votes for a map. And then when the map is chosen, people that don't like the map, they simply leave the lobby. Now, of course, if you don't like it, you don't have to play it. You're entitled to that. But my thing is, you can't just play a game and play the maps you want to play. You can't. If you want to play that way, then only play with your friends. Play a private match. But if you're gonna play with randoms, I don't think it's fair for you to always leave the lobby because it's a map you don't like. I don't like Bluefin Depot that much, not as much as the other maps in Splatoon. But I wouldn't simply leave the lobby because that map's on rotation and it's next up. I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't do it. But there are people out there that do that. I've seen it firsthand. I've been in Call of Duty Black Ops 2 lobbies where a person will leave the lobby when a map is chosen, and I'm pretty sure they tried to jump back into a game. And the game, since this match was open, it threw them right back into the lobby, and then they left the lobby again. They did this 2 or 3 times, like in the last 15 seconds. They didn't want to play that map. But they didn't want to wait too long for the match to start so they can get thrown on the lobby. So they keep trying to exit and come back and get into a random game. But the servers will route them back to the same game. People hate maps that much. But I want the ability to leave the lobby because there were certain times in Splatoon, and it still happens to this day, but it's rare, where you have a lobby of like 7 people. And you have 180 seconds on the lobby counter. This is how long it's willing to wait until the room is full. And then you start playing little mini games in the gamepad or whatnot. Then you look up and you be like, damn, 2 minutes have passed and we're still waiting. And my thing is, I'd rather just leave the lobby and start another one. Jump into another one. I really would. And then there are times I get thrown in the lobby, I'm the only one in there, and I'm the only one sitting in that lobby for about 3 minutes. Even when the timer runs out, it just starts back over. So give us the ability to leave the lobby. Or maybe, just maybe, I want to change, I don't know. Maybe I jumped in there too soon and a friend jumped online. I want to jump back out and join the game with them. I want that. I want to be able to leave the main lobby, not be forced to play a game or turn my system off to leave the game and the lobby and turn it back on and wait for it to boot back up. No. Let us leave the lobby, okay? The next thing I want, and this is more of a balancing thing, but I want them to make it to where you cannot have none of your sub perks on your gear or on your gear can match its primary perk. I get tired of seeing these people that have, out of the 12 available perks you can have total for your 3 pieces of gear, 10 of them match. I've even seen a person that had 12 power up perks. 12. Now they went through a lot, or they went through some type of exploit to get it, I'm pretty sure, but 12 of the same perk. And although Nintendo imposed limitations on it, before the game released, even still, people were trying to exploit things. See, it needs to be where players are forced to deal with the cons of their gear and or weapon. That needs to be a thing. So stop allowing people to have a t-shirt that has the power up perk as its primary, but then they re-roll their sub perks dozens of times to get 3 matching power ups. It's like, no, don't do that. Make it to where the sub perks can never match the primary perk. I think that needs to be something that would help with balancing. It really does. But I think that's all I have at this point. I really couldn't think of anything else I would want for the game. Now, of course, I want new maps, new weapons, but we know that's going to be coming regardless. However, I don't like the fact they said that none of these special weapons are returning from the first game. But then again, if they made new ones that do the same, or they're better optimized, or better in some kind of way, if not every way, I'm okay with that. I am. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what desires you have for the game. Maybe something I hadn't thought of. And as I always say, keep it gaming.